Yo, what up folks, CG here, and today we're taking a look at 4-color elementals. The deck I've been looking to cover again for a little while. Did a couple of different variations of it. The last one, the most recent adaptation, was Nissa, Resurgent, Animist, which is still in the deck. We've got some other new additions, some new adaptations to make it a little better as well. The other new card here is Voice Resurgence. But this is a 4-color elemental shell, also playing Leyline Binding. We're actually not playing any black sources, which is kind of like, hey, you know what, 2-mana Leyline Binding, still great. Also playing around Omnath and Elementals. We're kind of all in Elementals. To the point where we're playing other Omnath, we've got the voices with Leaf Crown Druids. The deck is very, very solid. So let's go do the creatures first. No 1-drop Elementals, but at 2 we have Leaf Crown Druid. Gives us some mana acceleration, which is pretty nice, and then is another cheap Elemental, then trigger a bunch of stuff later on. Voice Resurgence, kind of one of the new friends to the deck. Green-white for a 2-2. Whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, and when it dies, create a green-white elemental token with this creature's power and toughness each equal to the number of creatures you control. Voice is a really, really powerful magic card. On the face of it, it's like, oh yeah, it's just a bear. However, when you cast it, your opponent starts having an absolute nightmare. If they try and remove it on your turn, like say, hey, they're holding up a Fatal Push or something, we play a Voice Resurgence, they're like, oh, I've got a Fatal Push. If they play it on their turn, we immediately get 2/2/2s. We get a token because they play a spell on our turn, and then we get a token because the Voice Resurgence dies. If they just say, okay, we're just going to leave the Voice Resurgence in play, whatever else they cast on our turn, especially like versus control decks, we're just going to get tokens for, and eventually it dies, and it's an elemental, triggers all of our stuff. It's an incredible card, and it's a really, really awesome addition to this deck. Then at 3, we've got Nissa, Resurgent, Animist. 2 and a green for 3/3. Landfall. Add a mana of any color. Often forgotten, because then it also, if it's the second time this ability is resolved this turn, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an elf or elemental card. And it's obviously the elementals that we're looking to get hit here. There are a couple of ways to play with Nissa. You can actually just like play a very minimalistic elemental package. You play like just Nissa and Omnath, or just Nissa, Reef and Omnath. But here we're just looking to get as many elementals as possible as an awesome card advantage engine. Now, one of the things, at least in Pioneer and Explorer, is that getting those 2 land drops can be quite difficult. Kind of a similar thing with Omnath. We have Fable Passage, but then we're also playing some of these like hideout lands, Courtyard, which all ends the battlefield tapped. Well, ends the battlefield, and then they get sacrificed to find basic lands, which then triggers both Nissa and Omnath. There's a nice, neat way to do that. They also gain you some life, which can, you know, matter in a scruff. Reef, obviously, ye old faithful, 1 green and a blue, or 1/1. When it or another elemental enters the battlefield you control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you can put it onto the battlefield tapped. If not, you get to draw it. Well, put it into your hand so it does not trigger Shieldred. So, hey, better than draw it. It's like the really, really huge engine that makes this deck work alongside Omnath, but awesome ramp, awesome card draw. Obviously, gets triggered by all these things. It's kind of the idea here. Well, not Nissa, but hey, she finds elementals to trigger it. Then at 4, we're playing 4 copies of Omnath Locus of Creation, of course. Red, green, white, blue. 4/4. You either love it or you hate it. Enter the battlefield, draw a card. Landfall, the first time you gain 4 life. The second time you add red, green, white, blue. And the third time it does 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. So much advantage here. Life versus aggro, a bunch of mana to kind of like just overpower your more mid-rangey or controlling opponents. Card is just incredible on all fronts. Nothing else really to say here. Then we also have 1 copy of Omnath Locus of the Royal. The cooler Omnath, but not quite as powerful in some situations. But here in the full-in, all-in elemental deck is still really, really good. 1 green, blue, red for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage to any target equals to the number of elementals you control. Any target can just be a fireball, which is quite nice. Whenever a land, enters the battlefield you control, put a +1/+1 counter on a target elemental you control, and if you control any more lands, draw a card. It is serving that role as a fireball. We can't tutor for it, but we can kind of like trigger this a few times to try and draw towards it. Obviously, we can draw through our decks, the Risen Reef. We see a lot of cards anyway. Super solid. Then we have 3 copies of Cavalier Flame at the top end. This is just a really, really big Haymaker finisher. Comes in as a 6/5. Obviously, the mana cost is a little prohibitive, but hey, we've got some ways to make that work. 6/5, 1 in a red, creature control game +1/+1 and haste turn to turn. So we're kind of like going off with Omnath, generate a ton of mana. Then you can just pump that into Cavalier. But then when it enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards, draw that many cards, and then it dies, it does X damage to each opponent, and each planeswalker they control, where X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. Doesn't come up very often. When it does, it's often lethal. But yeah, super nice. So mostly playing is like, hey, we're going to use our mana to play this, and then just give our team haste and attack with them to finish the game. Really, really solid. And then the last thing here, as creature-wise, is an Elesh Norn. Obviously, mostly just going off with Risen Reef. Anything where a permanent enters the battlefield causes the trigger ability of permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time. So Riven Reef, Nissa, this triggers when it lands the battlefield. Omnath triggers when it lands the battlefield. Omnath triggers when it enters the battlefield. Fable makes tokens, Leyline Binding, exiles permanents. It's great. It slices, it dices, and it turns your opponent's stuff off as well, and that's why it's worth a slot. I really wish we had Bring to Light. You could do so much more, so many more of the kind of utility style elemental based stuff. But here we are. The actual spells that we are playing. What comes to Strangle? This is just me wanting a really, really efficient removal spell early on versus aggro decks. As far as like damage for mana, this ratio is about as good as it gets, unless you want to play something like Lava Axe and start discarding cards. But here, Strangle here, just a solid removal spell. The other removal spell we're playing, Leyline Binding, is incredible. Goes down to 1 white here, which hey, it's not 1 mana, but it's still really, really solid. Exiles pretty much anything, just removal, clean removal for, well, it's a clean removal. If they have enchantment removal, obviously it's not clean, but just nice removal for pretty much everything. And then the last thing that is everywhere and did not get banned, fortunately, unfortunately, even again, you love it or you hate it, and sometimes both, but Fable the Mirror Breaker, just incredible card, helps keep everything together, and obviously threatening to start copying these like super powerful elemental triggers, like Cavalier, Risen Reef, even copying Voice, because again, when the token dies, you get a token, you get to kind of go off that way. Really, really solid, as well as just being able to kind of like filter the good cards, filter the bad cards towards the good cards, depending on the matchup. Like if you access control, you want to loot away the strangles, so you get to draw into some of the more like meat and potatoes. And yeah, awesome. The mana base, obviously. So we've got the 4 Fable passages. Yeah, it is a little messy. There'll be a deck list in the description as well. So if you want to copy the deck, you can copy it from there, so you don't need to check which of these are which. So 4 copies of Fable Passage. Now we're playing 3 of these kind of I would call them hideout lands. I don't know if there's a word coined for them. But 1 Cabaretti, which searches for Naya colors, mountain, forest, plains. 2 copies of Broker's Hideout, which searches for forest, plains, island. Solid. Again, these are important for helping you trigger Nissa and Omnath. You could play more or less, but having a bunch of enter the battlefield tap lands will punish you, because they do effectively enter the battlefield tapped, because the land you fetch is tapped. On the basic side of that, we're playing 2 plains, 2 forests, and then island, mountain. The ratios here, like if you're going to play them on, play another courtyard. The most important colours to find are generally you're going to have green early anyway, because you need to find it or have access to it, so you'll keep a hand with green sources. And you'll be finding like the mountain or the island or plains that you cast Leyline Binding. Either way. Triumphs, 3 Ketria, 2 Spyro's Headquarters, 2 Jetmaze Garden, and then some shocks to make sure you got a good amount of untapped lands, 2 breeding pools, 2 Temple Gardens, and then more stomping ground alongside all the basics you can see here. The sideboard, and then we'll hop into some best of 3 ranked matches. So, 2 copies of Rending Volley. Again, this is kind of just any time you see Rending Volley, okay, yeah, that kills Greasefang. That's kind of the job here, but also, of course, has a bunch of other utility. Great versus Mono White Aggro, great versus all kinds of spirit stacks, good versus Angels, which has really dropped off, which honestly I'm a bit thankful for. But hey, don't tell anybody that Angels might be really good again. 3 copies of Mystical Dispute versus other combo, versus combo decks or control. 2 copies of Deafening Clarion, just some insurance versus other creature stuff. Deafening Clarion does 2 things. Obviously, the 3 damage to each creature and the creature's control gain lifelink both can be powerful. If you are, for example, on the play and you've played a decent amount to the board and have a good amount of power, that lifelink ability can be a massive life swing that just puts you too far ahead in the game for them to catch back up. Alternatively, when you're on the draw, you can kind of sequence in a way that you get to use Deafening Clarion as a 2 or 3 for 1, despite you having creatures you eventually want to play yourself. Then, 2 copies of Rest in Peace, Greasefang, other graveyard decks, 1 copy of Touch the Spirit Realm, kind of a... I wanted to have like 1 extra removal spell in here. I also got 4 Leyline Binding as main. The thing with Touch of the Spirit Realm is it's got a bit of utility on it because that blink effect, you can pay 1 and a white to discard it, to exile target artifact or creature, return to the battlefield, can be super useful with, again, re-triggering like Risen Reef, that kind of thing, or even dodging removal spells to re-trigger things, which is, hey, kind of neat. 2 copies of Ren and Realmbreaker. This is again for like this is for the more mid-range and control decks. That ability really that we're playing it for is the -2 here to mill 3 and then pick a permanent back up. They will rebuy you any of the cards here. But is a threat by itself. The +1 to make it a lander elemental is decent. the -7 to be able to play lands and cast permanents is super solid. Is going to win you those kind of grindier matchups. And then lastly, 3 copies of Knight of Autumn. Not an elemental, but hey, a disenchant and a versatile one at that too. You can bring it in versus aggro as well and some other matchups. But hey, when you want to destroy artifacts enchantments, Knight of Autumn is a nice way to do that. Alright, let's hop into some ranked games. If you're not ready, please do subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Alright, first match here with Elementals. Yeah, really sweet deck. Really nice. You can also play with like Voice and some old friends like Omnath. So normally, to be honest, Omnath's more of an enemy. Normally on the other side of the Spirits matchup, but here we are. Go ahead and keep this. Triple Risen Reef, it is obviously a little slow, but we're on the play. And yeah, at least we'll draw cards into relevant things. Aggro might be problematic here. Does look like we're playing against boats. No Gigantha. We'll just strangle the elf here and play the Temple Garden out. Got all our colours. Looking to Reef next turn. Alright. Oh, interesting. More maybe like a Taka Red? But curious because of the oh, okay. I'm getting a little worried. But we're gonna carry on playing how we've been meaning to. How we've been planning it. We're just gonna make the Risen Reef. Alright, we will take action, put that into play. Broker's Hideout as a neat one, gets to affect us a little bit. So we've got green, blue, we probably want another blue source here, we've got everything else, and we've got Temple Garden in here. It's fine. One for the Risen Reef. Take 5, that's okay. Let's see what we draw here. Okay. Another Risen Reef. Sure, let's play this first, just see what we draw. See what we see on top. Okay, drawing Strangle is good. At this point, when I play Catcher Triumph, I think so. A little weird, but I think we're just going to play Untapped Temple Garden next turn, just play 2 of these. We'll just kill the large one that's got Trample. That's fine, we're still kind of turbo chilling. 116, so not under a ton of threat yet. But can change pretty quickly. If they're on like a Burning Tree Emissary type stuff with Iconoclast. Yeah, looking at like Collector Company, maybe some Embercleave shenanigans going on. A little worrying. Largely a miss on the company's rough. Remind myself what Targanar does. Oh, Alishon's neat. The Eleshnorn first. Then go. What do we make 2? The 2 of these obviously super tempting. The other flip side of that is if we get to the Eleshnorn first, that's also free. I think we play this out. We'll hold the land just in case we draw Omnath. Okay. So. Attacks of power 6 or greater, the attacking creature's gain plus so. And you can pay 4 mana to double its power and toughness. They also have Migwalls here. We're on 14. And activating this will use up all of their mana. Activating this will use up a lot of their mana. 1 for Vigilance of Menace, which is obviously super annoying. 2 for +2/+2. Retrospect it a little bit. If they want, they can eat our Eleshnorn. We block here. It might just be better to block, make sure we block them with the Risen Reef. The other thing is that if they have an Embercleave, another problem altogether, because this becomes a 6/6, 7/7, there's 14 at that point. Tricky. But on the face of it, at least it doesn't have a way to give itself trample. Spellbreaker. They've gone for a counter. Are they gonna kind of wait here then? I still don't have good attacks. Alright, let's cast our first Risen Reef and see what happens. So we get 4 triggers. Take action. We drew it on Omnath. Take action. So we can't cast the Omnath. Oh, these double. I kind of forgot about that. Sort of madness. Can't cast this turn. I want to save this basically for the Omnath. tricky, because if they have a way to go trample, I really don't want to take the damage here. Yes, 4 triggers with Leaping Druid. Maybe. Ooh, do we have the lands to make Leyland Binding 2? No. Do we still do this? Hit here. It still triggers the Risen Reefs. This is the battlefield. Strangle's unfortunate because we can't cast off the Temple. I'm inclined to not play. Alright, we'll take the risk here. We're going to pass the turn back. We need to survive a turn, basically. Once we have Omnath land, pretty lights out. Somehow survive a turn. And currently they don't have another red source, which is great. I'm going to give that Vigilance and Menace. This pumps everything. Sorry, this is Vigilance and Menace, we just don't want to try and block it. This wants to go on one of these things. And so this is coming in for 5. Half us with Prison Reefs. These are Trample. Still block more damage. So here we're taking 4, 9, 12. Three, 8, 12. Bounce it. Pumps through this. Do that. Okay, so first thing we want to do is play the Omnath. Right, triggers. Go get our planes. Okay. Going a little crazy. So, to be fair, then we can just go Cavalier. Only gets to pump once though, is that enough? 6, 7. Oh, it just used up all the red mana. You know what? Did he just die because it used the red mana? Oh my gosh. I think so, honestly. I have wasted everything haste. Maybe not just dead. We've got some Leyline Bindings and stuff. Let's go like this guy, like some of these cards. We don't have access to red. That Risen Reef can go. This Omnath, we can't cast again. Oh, actual just awful. Play the land too. Yeah, this is terrible. Let's scoop it up. I can't activate this because play this tap. Okay, well, bear in mind to go into full control and activate things properly. Actually, it's actually triple red. Did I account for that? I think we had. Maybe didn't. Kind of throwing. Kind of throwing a little. Okay, well, sideboard. This is red-green. I think on the Deafening Clarions, maybe wants to touch. I'm a little worried about, like, some of the slower-ish stuff, so I think that might be well, but I'm not super fussed about any of these. They're likely to have some disenchants. I don't really like the Touch Spirit Realm. Let's see what we want to cut. I still think we do need to keep Lane and Binding in, even if it's a bit awkward. The Nissa are a bit slow, this is more like a value engine kind of thing. Maybe we cut. I don't know what cutting Cavalier. Alishnor was actually not doing very much here. If they were on the more boatsy, like Guy Sovereign, Chariot deck, then that'll make more sense, but I don't think so. Maybe Brush bring in 2 knights as well. Cavalier. Yeah, let's run this. Funny one. He finally got to go off, but alright. Leaf Conjurer and Voice Resurgence are both good cards, but keeping 5 lands is a bit risky. Especially versus something where we can get aggroed out quickly. On the draw, I think I'm at a mulligan. We'll keep this at 6. I'm just gonna get rid of the. Maybe we're not meant to. Yeah, 'cause we get to red for Omnath. Bank colors. Okay. That works. So the Spyro's headquarters on 1. Look to go Temple Garden 1-2 if we don't draw a 2-drop to play. On turn 3 we can play the Night of Autumn, or maybe something. Voltaic Roar. Wow. We do be aggressive. Oh, we still don't have a red source, which is pretty rough. I think I'm just going to Fatal Passage now so that we've got a red source for next turn. Because there's a decent chance this Night of Autumn is not great. Like, if we just play it out as a 3-3, they maybe should have a removal spell. See what they do here. Okay, second Voltaic Brawler isn't the worst of the worst. They have something to play off the Llanowar Elf too. This is the kind of deck that is like really cool, but gets a lot better when we have Reckless Bushwhacker in the format. Scavenging. Now. Alright, we got a mountain. Assuming we're gonna pay pay an energy. Yeah, the Bustles of Trample. It's like pretty efficient, to be honest. Like, attacks before. Okay, so now we can go Forest, play a Voice Resurgence out, and Strangle something. This something I really mean Scavenging Use, because that gets bigger. These are pretty awkward to block anyway. We're gonna end up kind of chumping. Yeah. They're out of cards as well, so the Scavenging Use isn't something to do their mana if we kill one of the other creatures. Or if we have to trade away. Let's see then. Getting paid of both of these, I'm kind of happy-ish to block. Feels weird, but it's in this matchup, it's just kind of saving us some damage. I think it's just a couple. We can only get trampled into one of these next turn, anyway. It also matters a bit. So now, go to 8, make Omnath. So the way this currently plays out, one of these will be a 4 power creature, we'll let it 3. One of these will be 2 power. Maybe they should attack with 1. They will attack with both, okay. They can only pay for one of them. Block the other one here. Go down to 4. And then now we have the power of Omnath. The nice thing about these hideout lands is that we get to go. I will get the island here. Let's just keep it up. We're out of cards. That's fair. We actually don't have tons going on our side, but that's how it goes. Alright, nice. I'll see you in the next match. Alright, second match here with Elementals. Deck is super sweet again, and I'm so happy to be playing with Voice of Resurgence. At least, unfortunately, not had to play against it very much yet on Arena. But I'm thankful for that, but hey. Alright, it's a bit of a slow hand here. We do have, like, hey, Fables, maybe go for that. We've got 2 lands that can trigger Omnath. We've got Fables, kind of some insurance. Again, just a little rough versus aggro, which is why we're playing those, like, 4 copies of Strangle. That's, like, cheap audio removal. I'm gonna lead with the Garden. Get that down. I'll get most of our colours. Resurgence does find an island if need be. We'll maybe do that here so we get an untapped land later on. We don't need to do that anymore. Alright. Sure. Okay. One aggro is like not great. This isn't a very fast start at least. Us being on the play, we're kind of alright. They're not gonna get any counters on this in time to like blow up the Fable before we get to like loot stuff away. So I feel pretty good about it. So they're going fairly wide. I'm happy enough blocking with, I think I still want a Fable instead of making the Druid. And then we can fetch the blue source, the Table Passage. Make Omnath next turn. Depending on what they do. Okay, so far so good. Brew of Cathar, better now than later. We take 6, go to 13. Let me draw here. I'm probably going to bin this forest. I'll probably bin the Leaf Druid as well. Keep hold of the Fable. Yeah. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8. We get down to 11. What does it look like? I feel like Adeline. They should have a removal spell here. And if they have a removal spell for the Omnath, we probably just lose. If they have like the second Brukathar. But I really want to basically save this Table Passage, and we can gain the. If we can live this turn, we can gain the life back later. Is the thinking. Maybe a tad greedy. Or a little unfortunate to kind of get a few lands off of our Fable draws. We'll see, let's see. Oh, they have a giant killer. Okay, that's really bad. And we're pretty priced into drawing Omnath off the top. Fortunately not dead here. We're going to get another blocker back off Fable. If they have like Brave the Element, any of that kind of shenanigans, we're in pretty big trouble. And actually, Giant Killer kind of stops Omnath being a great out as well. We're on 3. We can go to 4. We have a Leyline Binding, they tap this down. And sadly we can't double spell here. Down 3. Let's see what attacks they make. They have a meter vault as well actually, we're just super dead. But hey, we'll at least make them make the decision. Yeah, that is lights out. Say timely Giant Killer there to kill the owner. That's fair enough. The life lost there to shock for the Omnath didn't really make a big difference. Okay, here we want the Rending Volleys, they're obviously great here. They don't have great answers for like enchantments, they've got like free disenchant stuff. They maybe bring them in anyway, we didn't actually show Leyline Binding. They might just think we're on some like Elementals plan. But again, they didn't really see. Oh no, we discarded Leaf Crown Druid. But yeah. And actually we want the Deafening Clarions. Maybe the Ossification? Maybe I'm going to bring in some of these as well. We pulled out some of the slower stuff. Alishon is actually really good versus Mono White. Weird one where like Cavalier were kind of taking over the game anyway. What I'm actually realizing after the last match is that maybe we need to change our mana base a little bit to support Cavalier a little bit. Other stuff we want to take out. I think maybe this one. Oh, right. The Nissas are way too cute here. I think I'm going to cut Cavaliers and maybe cut something else as well. You still want to load up, we should want to be super top heavy because that's how we lose. I'll be able to cast spells. Maybe the touch is a little fragile. Bring in here. With like decks we want to basically have anti-Planeswalkers. We didn't see classification, so let's only bring 2 out nights in. Let's do this. Then I'm gonna cut this on there. Alright. Got a decent number of cards on board still. Yeah, actually think about playing. There are other graveyard decks, obviously, because Red and Volley is so good against Reef Fan. You can play that in lieu of like your graveyard hate in some cases. Okay, this looks pretty. I say that we don't have a red source, but we're on the play and we have Risen Reef on 3, and we can draw towards 1. I don't think we can put this back at any rate. As soon as we've got a red source, we've got a couple of other things going on. Oh. Okay, cool. What else we got here? Okay, Garden is fantastic. Again, let's just either cast Fable or Strangle. We have like Strangle Leyland Binding, we can have Risen Reef. We've got some options now. Back Sun. The one thing about our hand last game is that we were rightly so punished by aggro. Punished. Oh, okay. Barley's annoying, but they're not like super like. I think I just want to Risen Reef. This isn't tons of pressure. Obviously, can accelerate into a lot more very quickly, but take the mana, 'cause we'll need it to start it anyway. So 3 they have. Yeah, so last game we took like a pretty slow hand and that we had like nothing before 3. Here we at least have some removal. I'm gonna no blocks here. We don't have a fantastic answer for Adeline. We have Leyline Binding, so we maybe Strangle Thalia and then plan to Leyline Binding Adeline. I'll lead with this. Broker's Hideout, Forest Plains Island. I just do want to get a red source, I'm going to play the Fable Passage here. The main fate, I guess when they go to combat. We're at 13. It's like leaves open Brave Elements lines, but Brave Elements are probably white, means we can still block and that we're not dying to the Brave Elements later. That makes some sense. Alright, Bodyguard's fine, obviously. And I'm binding Exiles, we don't care about that. Giant Killer into play. This is a little suspect, but it means they've got a tapper to stop us going super. Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice at all. Oh, I was not meant. I should let them go into combat. I had a window to do this before. But they don't. Yeah. The attack here. Ah, jeez. Alright, well, this is not going great. We'll take the damage here. No blocks. We basically are again putting ourselves in a position where we need to draw on there. Yeah, I'm gonna do this now, or like on upkeep. The Jetmir's Garden is not it. Oh, jeez. Alright, well, this is the other side of the deck where we just get rolled by aggro, right? Yeah. Alright. Even here, though, like, we didn't draw... Like, this game we had, like, a Timely Strangle we could play. This game we had a couldn't. We were also kept off of Strangle a little bit. But hey. Next match. Alright, match number 3. Yeah, that was a little sloppy, but also just a really tough match there, the way the draws played out. I need to work again being like a better like actual like arena player. I mean like not just like clicking things because I can click them, like clicking through phases by accident, and then also not like every now and again I'll be like, oh yeah, auto tap for something, and then hey, this is like a 3-drop deck. This is again why we're playing the Strangles for insurance deck. We'll keep this because we have to pretty much, and like depending on what our opponent's on. And again, there can mean a few different things. Could be something like Sacrifice, could be something like Heroic, could be something like the deck we're playing, like Elementals. one way to go about building this, if you cut the Cavaliers, you can play Gigantha, which itself is an elemental. Okay, so it is sacrifice. That is fine. Mostly let's just do our thing. Just catch a Triumph here. At some point we'll want to draw it into a white source. We've got a little time to develop, at least for now. If they have a Mayhem Devil and can start sniping off our Resin Reefs on time, I feel worse about that, but we'll see. What are they going to take here? Do they take a Risen Reef to stop us kind of like going off? Do they take Leyline Binding so you might draw an answer for sacrifice stuff? Or do they take Fable because it's the most powerful card? Who knows? If they have interaction for the Risen Reefs, then you can leave them. If not, you probably take one, so I don't get to go Risen Reef for 1 trigger into Risen Reef for 2 triggers. If you have interaction, like if you have a Mayhem Devil to then deal with the Risen Reefs, maybe you play a Fable out. The other thing is that they might not have like things to sacrifice. It's tough. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and take the Fable. So maybe do you have good interaction with Risen Reefs? We're going to play into it anyway. So we'll see. Risen Reef at least helps us find the white source. Good times. And yeah, there we go. Nice! How we drew it up. Good, good. He's not playing another creature here, so I'm actually quite tempted to block the Cauldron Familiar. They have 4 cards. Not having a creature is pretty unlikely. Reason being that I kind of would either have to sacrifice it or let it go to graveyard without making a food. And we're back. If they actually want to trade these. And it's hard to know that perfect to me. Given that they've Thoughtseize Dust in our hand, likely to say that them trading off the Cauldron Familiars is a good play on their end. Oh no. Thank you for survey. Alright. I'm just gonna restart my client. Oh, damn. We're on their turn, so we probably don't get punished, but let's pray. There we go, we're loading back in pretty quickly. I'm always like super careful, because if you let it try and resume, it can A, bug out, or B, just take too long. Oh yeah, okay, our turn. They fatal pushed our Risen Reef. Okay, not too bad. Did you play one here, or do you play the Fable? This draws more cards straight away and is the highest upside. We can draw either a red source or an elemental to play. Like Lucan Druid here, totally fine. If we get to untap again with the Risen Reef in play, we get to play it, yada yada, go off. Pop off, pop off. Yeah, so the other thing we missed is so they played a new Cauldron Familiar, Deadly disputed it, and then fatal pushed. Using the treasure, do they not have mana? I guess not. Oh well. Thoughtseize, we have double blinding, which you can now cast. They take the Fable, they take the Cavalier, they take the Druid, there's some options. Maybe take a binding. Again, we still don't really know much about their hand. Other than they've got quite a lot of cards still. All things considered. No, they didn't dispute here. Just fair enough. Okay, they took the Cavalier, which is great, because that was the one thing we can't cast. But it is, of course, the thing that actually threatens to kill them. Oh. That's wild. Ooh, voice is pretty cool. It uses our white mana though. Play. You can Druid first. Okay, and this is neat. I think given that they've just done this, Instead of looking for an answer to the Resurgent, we're just gonna play our monsters out. They have a treasure. I'm just not gonna attack. They have a treasure up. I don't know what's going on. They could do some nonsense. Like, it's probably totally fine for me to get one in here, but it matters a little in the terms of the long game. And if somehow we randomly get got it, it's miserable. Okay, Harvester, Fable. Fable make token. We don't currently have elemental in this, but we do want to get some. What's the priority here? Letting them loot is probably bad, but then also we want to make sure we've got an answer with the Blood Tide Harvester. Nissa, 4 or more creatures. Well. Can we do all of that then? Because if we go red, make a Fable, and this taps for double green, double green, the blue makes Nissa. I was gonna say, because the Leaf Conjurer gets online, add a white. Oh. I just want to get rid of the Harvester. The minute nothing else actually matters, I don't think. They're gonna sacrifice it to what it should. We don't even loot cards, but hey, I think right. You can block this. What's the new second there? They just get to bring back the order. Oh, but they can't attack it again, so maybe yeah, which you wouldn't attack. You missed out on 2 damage. That time I definitely should have. Alright, so they're just gonna look for Mayhem Devil. If they find a Mayhem Devil, they have a 1, 2, 3. Oh gosh. This is not the maximum punish, but given we actually have a bunch of 2 toughness creatures, and then like Nissa and the Leaf Druid have 3, and this is going to be going off, and we have an answer for the Mayhem Devil, this isn't that bad. They can make a token here. Well. Some wild stuff. One thing here is if they don't sacrifice the Cauldron Familiar on their turn, you can like respond to some stuff to get the Mayhem Devil at a point where it's good for us. And reduce the number of triggers they can get. We'll see how that actually plays out. Okay, they've got the mana to loot. Oh, they actually don't have a card to activate this. They have 1, 2, 3. Snipe down Nissa. We can snipe down like Risen Reef and the token here. The Resurgence is probably the most important thing to hit, but getting rid of Voices Resurgence now is really awkward. This is why Voices really good. Because you can kill it, but I get a 5/5. Alright. Good thinking. They know you've got one still. Right. So I have 1, 2, 3 now here. Nissa turns some of the land into good top decks. They've got 3 triggers anyway. I just make this block. Because we like quote unquote trade, but I also get a big creature. Alright, that's somewhat sizable creature. Again, they can use the ping, all the pingers into Nissa, but okay, so 1. Okay, I'm gonna shoot Nissa down. Which is fine. This is actually again pretty while really good. Like it's still hard to trigger. You don't have very many cards that can do it. They're using a bunch of their to do that. Alright, nice. These get to actually use the mana, so I'll just give her. I don't want to discard Fable. Decline. Now we get aggro with our voice token. Yeah. Alright. That's cool. What's that both is? Because we do want to close the game out. Yeah. Mayhem Devil's still a good top deck. Once they've got a flipped Fable, like, it is annoying. Can't contest that. Well, contesting that. It's definitely annoying. So they've got Giganta, they've got another... Within the yard, the Hive turret, Hive of the Hive turret we have to be quite wary of. And, yeah, Cardlet is new. And it's making them think as well. Very interesting. Curiouser and curiouser. Another nice thing about Fable is because we are playing a fairly large number of lands. Let me just sacrifice it away. I'm just gonna say no. You might die to Reflected Cauldron Familiars. Was going to 9 here, but I think that's it. Ooh. Well, I don't want to just go on there. Number of other elements you can drop. Nice. That is a nice answer to the reflection, and we also gives us some ways to block the again. Need to be a little careful about that. That's it. Yeah, whenever you land and battlefield you control, put a possible sword counter on target element you control. If you control any more lands, draw a card. So we're not there yet. We're quite a way off, in fact. So trading it off for Giganta for getting the opportunity is decent. Then maybe looking at... I'm thinking maybe do a Fatal Push. They know we've got Reflection, but we don't have the kind of amazing thing to do with it. We do want to keep the Reflection alive, of course. We can help it. We could also maybe just, like, you know, sack off the Leaf Druid for a turn, because it's not really doing anything now. Oh, jeez. All unearthly drawn. Alright, well... I'm gonna do the thing here. I think this looks right. See what they actually have. So if they have Fatal Push pre-combat here, they can... Okay, let's sack this off. I assume they did draw Fatal Push. I'm gonna push Omnath maybe? Like, still again, leaving the Reflection is dangerous. There's some solace in that. Okay. It sounds like they have another card, so I'm going to play Voice just in case they don't respond to it. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to attack with these. I kind of want the treasure here, actually. Sadly, cannot copy Omnath. Can copy Voice Resurgence, which is pretty awesome. Alright, they're gonna loot. Okay, it was not a Fatal Push, it was Alistair. I'm so shocked that they made that attack after drawing that card. But, yeah. So basically, what's going to happen is that when we get to the end of their turn, I'm going to... Yeah. I'm going to activate Reflection on Reflection, it makes a copy, do this, and because we're doing it on their end step, we actually get to untap and attack with all of them. It's kind of like a little, like, cookie combo, except that you need mana each time, so we can do that effectively 6 times there. Make 6 C2s, untap, and then we can either use those to make copies of Voice of Resurgence or something stupid like that, and, or just attack with them all. You know, nice. Okay, Sacrifice. I want these Deafening Tarrants, I definitely want these Night of Autumns, probably, actually the Touch of Spirit Realms, they have no good interaction for at all. These cards are all great. Oh, the Rest in Pieces are also good versus Cauldron, it doesn't actually. That's interesting. Yeah, so it turns off of Cat Oven and like some dies effects, but other than Cat Oven, there's not a lot that relies on things dying. Like the Mayhem Devil stuff all works. Weird. Obviously it was useful here, but I'm gonna cut the Omnath. I think I'm just gonna cut Cavaliers again. Alashnon was obviously incredible here. Pretty happy. I'm gonna cut the Nissas. And we're not playing like more mid-range or control, otherwise those Nissas could do really great work. But yeah, bit awkward here. And then ooh. Well, these cards are good. What am I gonna say? The voices were fine here. They're not obviously attacking us a ton or really do much on our turn. We could consider cutting them. Is that better than cutting Leaf Druid? Hmm. I think Leaf a bit more. Voice is obviously incredible. But again, versus like a traditional aggro deck, it blocks really well. Here it just doesn't matter very much. And then yeah, versus control, or does want to play like spells on our turn, like spirits, that flash, that kind of stuff. It's great there, but again, they're not really doing that. No really need to play outside of sorcery speed if they don't want to. So here we are. It's a shame because they're boarding out a bunch of the sweet cards, but they are unfortunately what we're looking for here. And that's how matchup works. Which I think Todd Anderson had a great thread on this a while ago, but so many matchups in the Pioneer and therefore also Explorer formats are just very polarizing. And you have to play cards that are bad in a bunch of matchups in your deck because if you don't play them, you lose to X, Y, Z coming from everywhere else. Alright, opponent is into the tank. Okay. This looks good, this looks good. We want another mana source, obviously. Ideally a white man, so you can Knight of Autumn. But catch a Triumph into Leafkin Druid. Ooh, okay. They maybe take the Knight here. Or they could take Strangle. Strangle is like nice here because it kills Mayhem Devil for 1 mana. Obviously doesn't do that instant speed, but still very efficient. And that makes sense, I think. When I catch a Triumph, so we have access to the Strangle if they go Harvester. Obviously, we maybe just don't play these Leafkin Druids out and go. Okay, right, well, one of these Leafkin Druids is going bye-bye. There. I guess I am more glad that we brought Rest of Peace in. I'm pretty happy to just play this on turn 2. If they don't play something we want to hit the Knight of Autumn, we want to save it, and so playing the Leafkin Druid plus removal spell here. Be like, here we're gonna go Leafkin Druid, kill your. That's better, I think, than sacking off the Risen Reef. Alright. Let's see. What do they got? 2-5. Yeah, one of the cool things here as well is that with Risen Reef, Omnath, getting all these like card draw going. Oh no, that's fine. Green, blue, white. Action. Second Strangle. And we drew it up. And I'll hold on to this Broker Slider again. It's just so good with Omnath on Nissa. Obviously, you cut the Nissa out of the deck, but it's still so good with Omnath. I have one. Oh gosh, why do you have another one? That's annoying. They can now snipe off the Risen Reef, which they will do. Big shame. Okay, they discarded to claim the first one here, which is Fable. Cool. Need one more card to put Crocs in the graveyard. We're at 20. I don't feel like there's a need to play this out as like a 4-3 blocker yet. I'm just gonna pass. Alright. We do need to draw like a good card or two. We'll see. Yeah, this time we'll just take 3. See what else they follow up with. Yeah, so they've got 4 cards plus Croxer, so they're turn off of activating, which is not fun. Okay. That's fine. Maybe pass. If they do something weird... Okay, they're gonna attack Anuma. Sure. We want to be able to leyline binding the Croxer if need be. They have another one. Oh, they're gonna get Croxer back? Okay. Are they gonna Croxer from hand first, though? You just take the damage again. Hey, yeah. Okay, so gonna escape the Croxer here. At this point, do we discard the Broker's Line out? We're 14. We could also discard Night One. They've not shown us anything out of disenchantment stuff. Maybe at this point we just drop it. No, I feel like we have to discard the Broker. And we will do this now. They have backup Croxer, but they've got 2 cards in their graveyard. Alright, another leyline binding. Another leyline binding is decent. I just have to pass here. Because if the Croxer. Oh, maybe the actual answer here was to play Night of Autumn and then just exile the Mayhem Devil. And you could have prevented that 1 damage as well. 2 cards in the grave. I think gas eventually is a problem. We can't just sit here with Mayhem Devil and play though, I don't think. Yeah, we should have done this the way around. We'd be on 7, but oh well, we'd be on 8. We'd have a rival in play. There's some upside. Okay, Omnath is a good draw. Let's play this to gain life, and then I'm gonna pass this time. We'll hold this until basically we can gain life on their turn if we need to, but yeah, we'll see. Like if there's a removal spell for the Omnath here, we will Fable Passage to gain the full life. But if not, we'll sit around with it because we can actually use the mana. Ah, another one. Alright. 1, 2. And then they're going to sacrifice away the... Unfortunately, you just put the trigger from this on the Omnath. Oh, maybe we should just sacrifice. No, because they still put the damage check, so I need to do 1 more. Does technically save us the damage. They're gonna point at us as well, like that was done. They should have pointed at the other. And we will take a red source. No, we've not got Cavaliers in the deck. We should. Cool. Yeah, they just point the damage at Omnath. We don't get the life. Okay. We're again need to kind of draw good cards. That is solid. Oh, you can Croxer again. Just if they have any spell, they can Croxer again as well. So we at least get the Mayhem Devil off the board. We're not immediately there to the Croxer. We have like 2 turns. I think we still do this. It's just so easy for them to enable it. They've got 3 cards in hand. My Deadly Dispute land also gives them Croxer. Okay. Also, hey, maybe they don't do it. I just had a land as well, so would have been easy and easier. Now they're gonna bring it out. Yeah, I missed a couple of like very little things here. Oh, giving it haste is sick. No blocks this time. Right foot let's stomp. Left foot let's stomp. Yeah, Broker's Hideout is not going to do it. They've got the high with the. They've got the Den of the Bugbear here as well. We are going to scoop it up. Okay. So, do you want to change how we sideboard it at all? I still think all of this is right. Maybe voice lets us pressure them a little bit. And maybe pro voice minus the pictures. I think these cards are all. Okay, let's run it back. I think we can get this. As if we hit rest in peace at any point there, it's also really, really just incredible. But we did not, unfortunately. We would like to play, of course. Alright, we have lands, spells, early spells. No, actually, green. Alright. Witch's Oven, fine. Okay. I'm gonna play the how good is versus Resurgence in the matchup now that we've brought them back in the game. It's pretty good versus Blood Harbor in particular. I think one thing here is that we just don't want to use the Strangles on the Harvesters. Or we've got other creatures. Okay, that's an excellent. It is, however, really good against Voice Resurgence. I'm gonna attack it, so they do. Okay. We cackle maniacally because we know that these voice resurgences are getting better, getting worse. Okay, the fact that we're bringing in Rest in Pieces, and I just took out about the bit of a number here, means that we maybe should be the voices that we're removing. But hey, I'm fine enough with how this is going. Alright, I don't want to let them loot. But do I want to leyline binding the table? Yeah, I think so. I want to deny them the draws. Actually, I'm actually just in. I'm in on the Voice Resurgence beatdown plan. We're gonna strangle this and see what happens. So they're gonna sacrifice it, but I mean, let's see what happens. Yeah, for next time. All right, they're on 16. We have Elish Storm, rest in peace. I wonder if they have Crocs, it's a little awkward. Like specifically this turn, they have Crocs. This split is wild. Yeah, no, it's not wild. Get a 1/1 out of it. Is there a way to like kind of angle this to our favor? I think I just play Rest in Peace and let them Mayhem Devil about for a bit. So it just turns off some shenanigans. We'll say no blocks. Kind of knowing that we have the Deafening Clarion to kind of clean things up if they get out of hand on the board. Okay, they have a hand. They have a grip full of cards, but my hand is solid. Alright, double Mayhem Devil. Okay, definitely happy about waiting on the Deafening Clarion. I'm gonna attack. See what happens. Actually, should not attack. Should just take the 1/1 that we get out of the exchange. But we'll pick both modes. Okay. I'm pretty good about this. We get a 1/1, which then starts growing if they don't have an for it, which is nice. We have Elishon if we draw a land, and we have the River Reef to start kind of going off the next turn. Okay. This forces the activations to be on the Voice of Resurgence as well, I guess. One, two. Oh, interesting. They've also not presented Gigantha, which I only just realised. What if they brought in the Gigantha can't... The Gigantha stops? I honestly have no idea. I'm gonna Risen Reef here instead of playing the Leafing Druid. Obviously this is... it's better once the Risen Reef is in play. Okay, back up, rest in peace. Nice. Kind of Planeswalker. I don't think what it is, what it would be. No blocks. Fatal push. Okay. Yeah, I can't think of it off the top of my head. I think that's why I'm kind of like, alright, you can leave the cards away. We'll just keep resting the lane unbinding as an answer of something important. But I guess the Fable does clarifies that. I think it's got a 1 card. Oh dear. Means the cards are pretty good. What is it they bought it in? Takes them off Gigantha. Maybe they bought the Gigantha. Bet shit, don't they? You look at a sacrifice list. Yeah, you can attack. Edge. This is a mayhem level we are in. Big doo-doo. Oh, meat hook? Okay, yeah, meat hook would make sense. Maybe. I don't even know how to go at this. Okay. Harvester. Harvester is workable. We do want to keep our Leaf and Druid alive because it casts the Elishon. It is way better for us if we cast this Leyline Binding after we've cast the Elishon. Okay. Still fine. I think no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait. Oh, I don't like that. Okay. Given what goes on with the reflection, I think we need to do this now because we're not going to have the mana. Ugh. Also, if they draw Blood to Harvester, well, see. We want to be able to block. What do we want here? A blue source or red source? Please. Got the mountain play already. Alright. Well, we'll see. Okay, so Harvest is not making any more tokens. Cool. But we might just die in a flurry of things. They got the Danlik animate, they got these things to attack each other, they got the Blood Harvest, they just turn these all sideways and all of a sudden we're in a big trouble. If they have 2 blanks in hand, like animating the Den of the Bugbear and just going, alright, I'm going to attack with all of these, A pretty good line. Still need to again kind of draw a good card. There's really the power of Fable Mirror Breakage being... Oh. Well, that's not good. These can give -4/-4. Okay. Yeah, I like the Hive. Then, what are the attacks? Okay, well, that's fine. Doesn't die either. Okay. Like I said, turn everything sideways is good. I don't know how. Oh man. Oh, we need to go like Omnath into land. That is not it. Oh jeez. We're at 6. They get to go. Copy. Make a copy. Yeah, we're all kinds of dads. Oh damn. All right. Well, that has been a rough last couple of games. All right, and that has been 4-color elementals. One pretty nice win, and then a couple of pretty tough losses, honestly. Got a little punished for a couple of different things here. One of the things I think, actually, is that we want to get rid of these Cavaliers. And probably, and we'll have to get rid of the Wrens out of the sideboard as well, and play Gigant of our own. We find ourselves in a position where occasionally we just have nothing to do. We do get, like, flooded out a couple of games, and Gigantha gives you some nice power there. At least in the games when you don't draw into Omnath. But yeah, I think cutting the Cavaliers, they're a bit clunky, it also trims down your kind of up here, and you can play some other kind of more interactive stuff at 2, maybe, either more removal, or there's a couple of other nice elementals that you can play, like find new lands and things. Actually, in fact, you could even play Invasion of Ixalan, just try and make sure you find your Omnath, your Risen Reefs. Those are kind of the best cards in the deck. Yeah, would be really, really sweet. But yeah, we had a couple of rough matchups there, like Sacrifice is fine, I think. In case we're getting the right cards. And again, we did flood out a little bit. But hey, I think that's really, really solid. The mana base, again, if you do want to play the Cavaliers, I do think you need to maybe adjust a little bit, just to make sure you've got more red sources here. You play some more Catcher Triomes, we add a second mountain to find. And again, you can also, if you want to, increase the number of courtyards here. That gives you a few more things to double trigger Omnath and Nissa. Yeah, overall, I think the deck's great. It got a little unfortunate there, but there's a lot of play to it. There are a couple of different ways to build elementals as well. Like I said before, you can kind of take out like instead of going like all the elementals, you can play like just Nissa, Risen Reef, Omnath. You can even just play Nissa, Omnath. You can also do some, if you want to get really, really funky, you could play some like Collector Company style thing as well, kind of like building around like Nissa, Risen Reef. You got Voice, Leaf Kindred, and there's a couple of other like fairly cheap elemental cards you can play. But yeah, lots of sweet options. Let me know how you end up playing it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.